subscribe, drop it in the comments, all those different things that you're supposed to do. And while you're here, you might as well go ahead and hit that share button so that other people like you can jump in and enjoy what we got going on today. And that's all I'm going to say. Back to you guys, Fred and Luke.
All right, let's get ready to
Let's go.
This.
Thank you, Glenn. Thank you for that intro.
In 5, 4, 3, 2. Car guys and car gals, welcome to the Car Guy Coffee Podcast. This is Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
This is Fred Linares, the subprime hero.
And we are brewing solutions with the Glenn Lundy,
The Glenn
Mr.
Lundy.
Hashtag Rise and Grind, the solutionary of solutionaries that he is. And we are so excited to get this rocking. But before we get moving too far, folks, we want to make sure that you check out this intro and see some of the fun that we've had. One day, soon enough, Glenn is going to be inside of this intro too, showing you how to forgive, focus, fly, and do all the fun stuff that we do. Get ready to rock, folks. We got a big day, and you're going to be part of it. Let's rock this out.
Let's go.
Boom. Guys and car gals, I don't know about you, but I am crazy excited, and I'm only like 6 sips in. Okay, so pumped up to have Glenn Lundy in the cafe with us again. If you didn't get the chance to check out the other podcasts and the other shows that he did with us, where he dropped an entire 5-liner of information and truth and behind the scenes understanding of what makes this incredible man tick and shine like a dope tie. Right? You need to go get you some of that. But folks, we are here to have some fun. Glenn, welcome back. Welcome back.
Hey, man, happy to be here. Happy to be here, bro.
Well, I got to put my sunglasses on.
That's right.
Glenn, you look sharp. You look sharp, friend.
Ka-chow.
You got the fresh cut. Good.
Yeah, great to be here, man. You guys are so much fun, dude. I love that intro. You guys' energy is awesome, man. You guys play off each other so super well. It's always a pleasure.
Wow, that actually means a lot.
It does mean a lot.
It really does
mean a lot. But speaking of energy, we need to do what it is that we do to make sure that we keep growing. So Glenn is back here inside of the cafe with us, and we're going to apply 3 F's, everybody, to make sure that we are flying together the way that we're supposed to by forgive, focus, and flying. So Glenn, jump in with us as we begin this session with the Glenn Lundy. 1, 2, 3. Forgive, focus, fly.
Keep growing.
Keep going.
Yes, sir.
Everybody, guess what time it is? Because we're talking about energy, right? You brought that up, Glenn. Guess what time it is, folks? It's time for a jump box. Woo. It is time to address a negative.
That's right.
Unveil a positive.
100%.
Make a connection. Turn on the juice and boom, bring up the power to your engine so that you can have a successful day today. We have Glenn Lundy, the 800% club creator, and he's not just an 800% club creator, right? He actually knows how to help bring dealerships up 800% in growth. And that's what we want to do today, is just upshift and uplift your business by getting this jump box attached to that battery today. Folks, I'm all fumbly bumbly with my words today just because I'm so excited again to have Glenn in the room. And if you didn't know, we are part of the #Rise and Grind Elite group. And
You guys
we
need
are
to check that
so
out.
excited for the mentorship, the guidance, and just the gathering that Glenn has done in bringing so many great people together. And we're just honored to be a part of it. But at the same time, honored to just be flying with a great individual that loves helping other people. He's with us, right frequency, and we're ready to go. So
thank you, man. You guys are awesome.
Thank you. Break down let's get ready for this jump box.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm rambling so much as I do often. I don't know what that was. It's okay.
Cheers.
So, Glenn,
so in the jump box, we like to have our guests come on and then they give a little tip for the people out there, for our audience. Sometimes you just need a little something that'll help you get your day going. Sometimes that just adding that little jump box onto the battery for 2 seconds, that car kicks over. So you thought it was completely dead. And then the battery's good to go again. It's just a little bit of help. I know, Glenn, you have a lot of great things that you've put out there. I've watched a lot of your podcasts. I've seen a lot of your the guests that you've had on your show, and they've given out a lot of tips. So we absolutely would love for you to throw one out there for our audience to let them know, hey, you do something like this will change your life, or this could make your day better. What would that be if you were to throw something out there, Glenn?
My goodness, man. Well, the main thing that's been resonating a lot with me lately, you mentioned the word, frequencies, and I'm all about trying to get into that incredible frequency, which is why I'm all about like morning routines, those types of things, the things that we do to start our day. But once you're in frequency, I think it's super important that you open yourself up to receive and to absorb whatever it is the universe, God, whatever word you want to use, is trying to teach you in that particular moment or season. So the reason that I preface everything with that is lately, what's really been resonating with me and what I want to share with that one person that's listening to the podcast today, or that one person that's watching today, that maybe is just feeling maybe a little less than, maybe they're feeling a little stuck. Maybe they're feeling like, they're kind of trudging through the day. They're going through the motions, but they're not really getting anywhere, and they're not real sure how they can get there, right? They see people around them that are thriving, that are succeeding, that are growing, and it's frustrating. They're like, I'm doing the right things. I think I'm doing the right things. I'm trying to do things, but I'm not getting there. And so I want to talk to you. If that is you, I want to talk to you this morning. I want to share one quick story that I recently heard, a quick little metaphor. I think it was Les Brown, TD Jakes, one of those guys, was talking about the acorn, right? Like this acorn, man, it's got everything in it. It's got everything in it that ultimately it needs to become a big, massive tree, right? Like everything, it's all already there. Like from the outside, it just kind of looks like a nut, right? It just looks like a nut, but literally everything that it needs, everything that it will ever need, everything that it needs to be great, to become this big, grand, massive tree, already exists in that little tiny nut. And I think sometimes we get caught up in the, if I had this, then I could. If I were around this person, then I could. If I do what they do, then I could. If I had not lost what I lost, then I could have. And I think sometimes we get stuck in that. And so I want to talk to you, if that's you today, if you're in a position where you're like, if I could, if I had, if I would, if I had not have, I want you to shake that this morning. I want you to shake that this morning. I want you to know and understand that everything that you need to be great, it's already in you. It's been in you from the get-go. It's there. We just got to make sure that it gets planted right? We got to make sure that it gets nurtured. We got to make sure that it gets fertilized. It's not about bringing in something new. It's about extracting what's already in you. And that takes intention. That takes in purpose, a lot of purpose. And so what I suggest to you today, you're wanting to make the moves, you're feeling a little frustrated, you're feeling a little stuck, because I want you to take a look around. Take a look around at your life. Take a look around at all of the things that you do have. Let's take a look at where you are. Where are you right now? Not where do you want to go? Not where do you want to be? Not where did you used to be? Where are you today? And the Bible itself says that every miracle is always created with what we have, what's left. What is left in your life that you can be grateful for? And if you start to focus on those things, become a master of the things that are left, the things that you have access to, the resources that you currently have, become a master to those, and you will extract that greatness that exists inside you. You will bloom, you will blossom, you will become that big, massive, giant tree that people stare at in awe in time. But for now, master where you are. Focus on what's left. Understand that the miracle is in you, and you are not just a nut. You are a great and mighty tree.
Come on.
Wow.
Strong.
Wow.
How's that for a start?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Boom.
I just took so many notes from
I'm
that.
saying
Glenn. I just took all kinds of notes. One easy question turned into a beautiful answer. I think that if you are out there, guys, and you're searching for something, like you feel like you have to look for outside sources to help you get to where you need to go. It's not true. You have it inside you. Glenn said, he said it. The Bible said, folks, we all have the power inside of us. It's a beautiful thing what you can do when you have the right mindset. Glenn put it down and he laid it out there for us very clearly. And I love the words that he used because, man, you're a master wordsmith. I love how you put things together. You're unbelievable to listen to. And when the way you just made that just come together, I've heard different ways of saying it, but the way you said it is just so simple yet complex enough to make you feel like, I need to listen to this. And man, things like master of what you have. Oh no, he's over here about to burst his seams. Lou always does. I love that about Lou. But master of what you have.
That's right.
I love that. I want to make a shirt that says that. I'm the master of what I have.
That's right.
Because it's true, and when you focus on those things, when you focus on the gratitude, just like you talk about on your daily routine, your morning five, and I implemented the gratitude thing immediately after I read your book a year and a half ago. And I was like, man, this gratitude thing, I do it a little bit different. I do mine in the middle of the day, but sure. because I use that to help me lift back up in the middle of the day when I'm kind of down. Right. So I use that, and I have a whole book that I use to write my gratitude. And it's so true. That power of understanding what you do have is everything you need. And I absolutely agree with that statement. I have everything I need. I just deserve more. No, I say the abundance should come to me. We all should have the abundance. And
that's right.
I'm going to let Lou talk because I could tell Lou's like ready to bust at the seam. But Glenn, that's exactly dead on, folks. If you guys are looking for something, look inside yourself, because I promise you, if you search yourself and you give yourself more credit than you think you should have, I promise you're going to go so much further than you could ever imagine. What do you have to say to that, Lou?
Well, I mean, to echo the eggcorn, right? I don't know
love that. God, that was beautiful. Yeah.
If it was Dutch Sheets or Damon Thompson, I'm kind of caught in between there too, of a couple of different people that expanded on that understanding of the acorn. And the way that they described it was that there's a forest in here. Inside of this one acorn is an entire forest. So beyond just the tree, wow, that tree will contain many, many acorns, right? That will grow into a deep-rooted oak, right? That entire forest, it does run back in line with, and speaking of the Bible, the seed time harvest parable, right? Jesus said that if you can understand seed time and harvest, you can understand every single one of these parables. Okay. Right. If you can understand that as a man sows, he reaps. And there is the process of time. So though you may have that acorn, you have to deposit that acorn. You have to sow that, right? You can't just take it and not use it. It has to be sown in. Be faithful with what you have, sow it, give it. For God so loved the world that he gave. He gave, right? We give of ourselves to other people. Glenn gives of himself to other people in order to see growth out of a forest. This acorn that is the Glenn Lundy, right, is impacting many, many people to grow deep, deep roots and finding out the potential that they have to sow seeds amongst an entire planet. But there's also the application of time. You have to give seed that time to do multiple things, including die to old understandings, die to the old form that they're in, right? So a seed, once it goes into the ground, for those of you that don't know the process of it, it goes into the ground and it completely goes into death mode, then there's an incredible power that ignites it to grow and push out of where it can't be seen and reach towards light. And Glenn is doing that. Car Guy Coffee Podcast is trying to do that and pouring into so many people by turning on the light and exposing what it is that God has created in you. You're never going to be Glenn Lundy. You're never going to be Lou Ramirez, Fred Lenartz. You're never going to be any of these people. You're only going to be you. But that does not change that the capabilities of greatness are able to come out of you once you unlock them by dying to old thoughts, old concepts, okay? Just like a dead battery. Sometimes needs that jump box. It needs to have an external source, ignite it with power in order for it to thrive and live again. So here we are on the podcast talking about these great things. And Glenn is one that I know he's right there inside of our generation that knows about this one movie that I consider one of the greatest movies of all time. It's never going to win an Oscar.
I do. It's a great movie. It should have won an Oscar, Lou. It should have won an Oscar.
It should have won one. The Glow.
You got to have the glow,
right?
my friend.
With Leroy, with Bruce Leroy, and Show Enough, right? And inside of that movie, there is Willie what's his name? Willie Hutch.
That's
made us a song, and it's called Inside You. And I play this throughout the showroom to get the guys understanding that you are the last dragon and you possess the power of the globe. We do not own the rights to this music, but this is what we listen to, and we hear that it's inside you. It's inside you.
Yes.
Sometimes you need to focus, but know that that power is inside you.
Inside you, folks.
Love it.
Oh,
Dude, I watched this movie a million times.
A million
Oh,
times.
my goodness.
I put my kids through it so hard. On the way to Florida, we watched it. I mean, we were in a vehicle with a DVD player, and we just kept watching it again. And they're like, oh my gosh, are we done with this? Like, wait, hold on a second. Watch.
look at this
Kiss
part.
my Converse. Watch this.
I love it,
It's
man.
awesome
Love
stuff, man.
But yes.
Awesome, man. And I want to expand just a little bit. I want to expand on, when I talk about, mastering what's left, right? Some people might be like, okay, well, what does that mean? What does that look like? How do I master what's left? I don't have anything. I don't have anything, Glenn. I'm sitting in a 1-bedroom studio. I've got, nothing. I don't have family. I don't have connection. I don't have finances. I don't have credit. I don't have nothing. How do you master what's left? And I want to speak to that real quick, because if you're listening to this podcast or you're watching this live stream, then you have internet at some point, right? Somewhere, somehow you have internet, or otherwise you wouldn't be able to hear this. And so start there. You see, I'm a master. I know that the internet is a tool to my success. So I've become a master of the internet. You'll notice every time that I talk, every time that I refer, every time that I share an idea, a thought, or whatever, like, I don't claim to be genius whatsoever, right? Back in the in the Roman days, this is actually a modern concept. The concept of genius is a modern concept. It is not an old concept. Back in the old days, they used to have, they used to truly believe that, like, certain homes or certain people had a genius, which was a spirit or a deity that existed in their home, in their property, or whatsoever. So when people came up with incredible ideas, concepts, beliefs, success, so on and so forth, back then they would say that that person has a genius. Not that that person is a genius, but that person has a genius. Big difference. And see, when you have a genius, someone that gives you ideas and thoughts and so on and so forth, when you have that, it's actually really good for the ego, right? If I have a genius, then I can only attribute success partly to me and partly to my genius. I can't get big-headed or inflated or egotistical or think that I'm the man, right? Because I have to share that with an outside source, an outside spirit, an outside energy, right? On the other side, if I fail at the same time, it's kind of nice on my ego. I don't have to take it all on me. I don't have to say, well, I'm the only, this was all my creation. I can say, hey, you know what? I fell down, but my genius, my spirit, my energy that's with me is still here with me to lift me back up. I'm not alone in my failures, right? And so everything that I referred to and all of the knowledge, and you talk about me being able to speak well and all of those things, I have to give credit to a genius. I mastered the internet, man. I master it. I study the greats. I study E.T. I study Les Brown. I study the Bible. I study, T.D. Jakes. I study Jim Rohn. I study John Maxwell. I read lots and lots and lots of different books. I consume. I'm seeking for Simon Sinek and all of these other human beings, right? I'm a master of the internet. And so if you just have that one piece, whether it be you have to walk 2.5 miles to go down to the library, get your library card and go sit down and sit on a computer for an hour, become a master of it. Use other people's genius, bring them in, and you can master that. So I just wanted to kind of clarify on that point. When I'm talking about mastering what's left, literally take a look around. I know there's salespeople in the industry. They're like, I want to be a sales manager. I want to be a finance manager. I want to be a GSM. Why can't I get a shot? Why won't they give me a chance? How come I'm not lucky enough? How come I don't get this? Why'd he get that? Why didn't I get that? And I'm just telling you, listen, dude, just master what you've got. I promise the rest will come. I always wanted to be a GM. That's what I wanted to be. But I never, ever tried to force or impress that upon anyone else. I never let anyone else's success or anyone else control my ultimate destiny. I just became a master salesperson. I was a master, dude. You can look at my numbers. You can look at my stats. You can talk to my old customers. I was a master. I mastered my products. I mastered the process. I was an absolute master salesperson. That's what got me promoted to sales manager. Then I became a master sales manager, which got me promoted to be a GSM. Then I became a master GSM, and that's how I became a GM. So master where you are, my man. Master where you are with what you got, and you will grow and you will shine.
Man, that applies to everything in life. Your relationships, master your personal relationships, master your relationships with your children, your friends, with everything. I absolutely think that is an amazing way to think, because there's a lot of people out there that are always looking for the next thing. They're not looking for how amazing that they have and what they have currently and how much more they have room for growth. You did in your Rise and Grind Elite, you had us do an impact score. When I went through my impact score, I honestly thought about rating higher, but I sat there and I really thought deep, Glenn, and I thought I could go higher because in a lot of people's eyes, I'm higher in a lot of these spots. But I also know that I have so much potential. I have so much more inside me that I need to let out that I haven't unleashed yet. It's my own, what I have already, right? So I know that if I tap into that and I have Glenn's Rise and Grind, hashtag Rise and Grind Elite group to help me get there, it's going to be accountability even more so. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm really excited about that. But I put an impact score of 40, I believe it was, right? And obviously the max is 77.
Right.
But I felt like, my career is a great career. I mean, in the eyes of the local car business, I have a great career. I should be closer to the 10, 11 mark. But in my eye, I see potential. I see that I'm more like a 5 or 6. I can be really and maybe I'm lower than that, really, because I don't want to say, okay, I only need to go up 2 steps. I want to go up so much more. I almost wanted to put 1, but I didn't. I didn't do that because I felt like that'd be crazy, right? So I was like, I'm going to put there because I'm pretty happy. Don't get me wrong. I love what I do. I have a great job. I work for a great owner. I have great people I work with, like Lou Ramirez and my whole sales staff. I love them. Everybody from my top salesperson down to the newest guy. Every single one of those guys that work with me, my teammates, I have a passion for those guys that I just hope that they one day are doing what I'm doing, what you're doing, Glenn, and they can look back, and that's part of my legacy is that I help these guys get to that next level.
That's right.
But yes, it's all inside you, folks. Everything that you need, just like that acorn, just like everything else, it's right there inside you. You just need to just understand it's there and plant it, sow it, let it happen, let it grow. And then if you really passionate, you water it, you fertilize it, you do everything you need to make that seed what it needs to be. I promise you, if you take care of it, it's going to be the biggest tree that it's just going to bring shade to everything that you need. It's going to bring you the fruit that you need to pull off and harvest. It's going to give you everything that you possibly ever could need in life. And Glenn's right. It's all inside you already. You have so much power there. It's unbelievable. I love it, man.
I mean, guys, I really love The Last Dragon. I really love it. There's so much
bringing it back to The Last Dragon
inside of that.
He does. He's
because
a big Last Dragon.
The concept at the beginning of the movie was reaching the final level, reaching the next level. And he's dealing with the master, right? He's dealing with his sensei and trying to figure out how to get to that next level. And so he goes on to this mission to see and to find the answer outside and hunt around. Now, folks, if you're vulnerable to the things outside of you, they can affect the things inside of you, negative and positive. Okay. So whatever darts are coming at you, all right, if you're not rooted properly inside, you can topple, right? Your foundation can break if it's not deeply rooted in. And the entire flow of the entire movie was about who's the master, right? Show Nuff's walking around talking about who's the master, right? Show Nuff. And at the end of the movie, when Leroy gets the glow, that one question is asked one more time. Give
me goosebumps, Lou.
Yes. So there comes that point where Leroy realizes all of this mission to find this next level is not outside of me. It's in me. But the potential is in me. To begin to explode that glow, I need to realize there is never going to be anything outside of me that's going to create anything greater than what's already inside of me. What's in me needs to, at times, get reactivated, needs to get a little bit of another spark.
That's it.
Just like a jump box. Just need a little bit of other energy to juice that up so that you can reach the final level inside of your life. And folks, there is no real final level. We don't know what it looks like in the full eternal flow. We are eternal beings, okay? This little tiny of life that we have here on earth in this little shell, right, is so fleeting. It's so quick. There is so much in the cosmos that we can't even comprehend yet.
No.
But when we reach the depths of understanding who it is that we are inside, we take deep looks at going over the numbers in ourselves, taking an honest approach of what it is that we have and where it is that we have to grow. Man, our growth potential becomes incredibly I want to find the right word there because I'm kind of feeling it so much. But Glenn helps other people do that. We're trying to help other people do that here. And it's so great when the energies and all come together and we're able to explode into an entire people group to bring hope, to bring love, and to see growth in other people. Guys, it's inspiring. If you're not inspired by Glenn Lundy and the mission that he's on to make sure that people rise and grind each and every day, finding their full potential, well, folks, you need to go get the jump box because there might be something wrong with your battery, okay? Because he's an incredible individual. He's an exciting person. And he brings such energy into this room that I cannot explain how pumped up we get just sitting here waiting to have the conversation and have some fun. But he's another Kentuckian that's doing great things. Folks, this has been a great time that we've been able to spend here in the Car Guy Cafe. Make sure that you share this around, okay? If you know somebody that needs a little bit of a jump box inside of their life, if you know somebody that needs to realize that there's great potential inside of them, just share this with them. You might speak to your blue in the face to get a person to understand the potential that's inside of them, but share this around. Let them have some fun. Let them laugh a little bit. Matt Grinke, great beans.
Yeah,
Love Matt Grinke. Smart
way to pay from Green Bay. Matt Grinke. That's right. Love Matt Grinke. He's a great guy, great follower. He's a good person. He's with the Smart Payment Plan Company, and man, they're a good company. They're doing some things out there, and they're really trying to help people find a way to budget their life a little bit better and pay off cars a little bit quicker, mortgages, the whole nine. It's a great program. If you guys have any questions about that, get a hold of me or Lou. But another thing I want to throw out really quick, folks, if you guys are loving what Glenn's talking, if you're liking what he's laying out there for you, you need to go to his website, glennlundy.com. He's got a lot of different programs. He's got a free book on there. If you guys, we talked about the Morning Five, you need to go on there and read that thing. I'm telling you, it's a very quick, easy read. It's going to give you a little history about Glenn, where he came from, the trials and tribulations, And what changed him in this Morning Five was a big part of that for him. So folks, go check that out. The Morning Five. It's a great book. But then on there, you'll see about his 800 Club. You'll see about the Rise and Grind Elite. Folks, there's still time. Me and Lou are in this group. There's a ton of other people very much like Lou and I and Glenn that are there just trying to uplift each other, much like how we do with our cafe, except for it's a tighter group and it's just, oh, it's beautiful. Folks, come check out that Rise and Grind Elite too, because Glenn comes on there and he's helping you. You got questions for him. There's not just Glenn answering questions. Everybody's on there. Anybody who has a little bit of love in that situation, who has that inside them, they're a master of whatever that craft is, they're there to help you. So come check out the Rise and Grind Elite. Come check out GlennLundy.com and Rise and Grind with them. Let's go, Morning Five.
Glenn, we're about to close the hood on this jump box session. Is there anything you want to do to take us home as we make sure that everybody answers the question of who's the master and they say that I am? I mean, you got the glow tie on. I mean, you're glowing with the tie right there. My goodness, so the fresh. Golden glow, just that like Leroy Grace. It's awesome. Anything you want to do to take us home, I'm going nuts over here.
Hey man, there's no two more powerful words in the English language than I am. Mm-hmm. Whatever comes after that sentence is your reality, man. There's a book called The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, which is it's basically the last dragon in book form. But it takes place a long time ago, and this guy's got to go on this incredible journey to ultimately discover the power that is within him. It's an incredible book if you ever get a chance to read it. But just think about it. I am, right? All the way back from biblical times, God used those words to describe who he was in our lives and who we were in his. And so anything positive or negative that follows that I am statement becomes your truth. So keep that in mind when you're saying I am fat, I am ugly, I am not worthy, I am not enough. You're right. As long as you continue to tell yourself that, you will always be right. Transform those words to I am beautiful, I am a child of God, I am capable, I am able, I am great, I am powerful, I am a creator. You change it to those words, your frequency instantly changes. The universe will bend around you, and you will find that exists inside you.
Strong. Look at those. Have nothing left to say on this.
Just drop that mic real quick. Bam.
Real. Again, people that drop mics, right, don't know the value and how much mics cost, huh? But you dropping some real knowledge, Glenn. We honor that. We appreciate it. We can't wait to get back to the next part of this. We're going to have a Car Guy confession session.
That's right.
We'll be right back. This is Lou Ramirez, the Car Guy.
This is Frelin Arts, the subprime hero.
And we are here with the Glenn Lundy.
Woo! Mr. Rise and Grind himself.
Boom. We are still live. But for the sake of the podcast, we're going to go ahead and chop up over there, shoot that out later on. But Glenn, we're getting ready to jump directly into this Car Guy confession session. We got stuff dropping all around us because we're shaking this entire room.
We've only got like 13 minutes. You guys want me to come back for another one later so it can be longer? Or you want to smash it in?
Well, I think that you can probably, if you got a story ready to rock, I mean, I know that everybody would probably love to have this.
Hey, whatever you guys want to do, this is your show.
Yeah, just throw us a quick, folks out there, we're getting ready to do a Car Guy confession session for all y'all who've been listening to, all you cafe members, all you Car Guy coffee fans. If you've been listening to any of our shows, you've heard our Car Guy confessions. Lou's brought his Car Guy confession, a couple of them, when he wrecked a demo before, right? And then, and he also threw a golf club through a window during the middle of the showroom. Yeah, he's done that. And those were some great confessions. I did not take somebody on a test drive. Lou came in behind me and asked the question, how'd the car drive? And they said, we didn't drive it. And he gave me the stare. You learn, you got to learn from these things as a young guy, right? So you get better. So Glenn, I know Glenn, he's been in this business for a very long time. Glenn has been in multiple different positions in dealerships. He has had hundreds of people work with him and for him. Glenn, I know you have a story in there, and I know you got something that'll make either one, people laugh, or something they can learn from. Car Guy confession session. What you got, Glenn?
A Car Guy confession.
It's inside.
So it was like 1:00 in the morning, I guess. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was laying in bed. My 2-year-old was in bed with me, and normally, my girlfriend, my 2-year-old's mom, she was she never like went out. She never did anything. Like I was always, I was the guy that worked from 8 in the morning till 8, 9 at night. And then I might go out with my buddies and drink a few beers or do whatever, go to Vegas as often as possible. It was only 3.5 hours from where I worked and lived at the time. And so she never went out, but she went out this night with some of her girlfriends, and she wasn't the type to like go out late or party or anything like that. So it was like, yeah, go out with your girlfriends, I'll see you later. So I went to bed with my 2-year-old at like 10, and I woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning. She still wasn't home, and so I texted her. She didn't answer. I tried calling her. She didn't answer. So I called her friends. I was like, hey man, if you guys seen her, she's out and about. She's missing in action. I'm scared. There was snow on the roads. I thought she might be in a ditch, all kinds of other stuff. They were like, no, she left here at like 9 o'clock. I was like, what? It's 1 in the morning. She left there at 9. And so I loaded my 2-year-old up in the car in her pajamas, and we went driving in the snow, looking in the ditches, trying to find my girlfriend at the time, my daughter's mom, trying to find her. And as we traveled and made our way across town, on the other side of town, far from where I lived like 6 miles out of town, and this was all the way on the other side of town. So this was, a good 15, 20 miles from the house. We'd been out there for a while, calling, texting, all of that. Couldn't find her. Scared to death. Called the ambulance, called the jails, called everybody. And we come across Barnes and Noble parking lot, and there I see the brand new Nissan Pathfinder that I had bought her sitting in the Barnes and Noble parking lot, and there's another car sitting next to it. And so I pull up, and there she is. She's in the car with some dude, right? They're like making out. And so I go crazy, which Glenn used to get crazy, by the way. I used to get crazy. I go crazy. This dude freaks out. He jumps in his car and takes off because he knows I'm about to kill him. And her and I fight, jump back in the car. We fight all the way back to the house. And long story short, we end up splitting up over that particular occasion, right? That was the end of our relationship. So fast forward a couple more years, her and I stay somewhat friendly, I guess you could say. We stay somewhat friendly for our kids' sake, but I'm still doing the same thing. Like I'm still working 8 in the morning till 9 at night. Then when I get off work, I'm going having a couple drinks with the buddies, and then I'm heading out to Vegas on the weekends, doing all of those things. And I'm burdened when I have my child. I was burdened by that because it kept me from doing some of the social things that I wanted to do. And so we stayed amicable for a little while. And then she came and got her from me one day on a Friday. She came and picked up my daughter. She was just going to have her for the weekend. And fast forward 2 days, and she was supposed to bring her back, and there was a knock on the door. I thought it was her. I'm like, hey, come in. I figured she was bringing my daughter back over, and it's some guy at the door. It's a process server. And this guy's he's got papers that says that he, I'm not using her name on purpose, but my ex-girlfriend wanted full custody of my daughter. My daughter was 6 years old at this time. And so I got the papers. I was like, what? This is crazy. What's she talking about? She's nuts, all that good stuff. Right. And so we talked to a lawyer and so on and so forth. And because we weren't married, I was on the birth certificate, but I still was going to have to do a DNA test, and it was going to be $15,000 retainer, And because I was always going to Vegas, and I was always going out to the bars, and I was always doing all those things, I really didn't have any money. And so I wasn't able to pay the $15,000 to get the lawyer. Fast forward 30 days later, and I lose full custody of my child. I'm not allowed to see her. I'm not allowed to contact her. I'm not allowed to do anything. That moment of my life sent me on a spin, man. I was so mad at everybody, so mad at the world. I felt like such a victim. And I left, and I blamed the auto industry. I blamed her for cheating on me. I blamed everyone. And as I spent that time in blame, it ultimately took me down a crazy path, man, a crazy path that ultimately I ended up homeless, depressed, and suicidal. Now, the reason that I share this with you as my car guy confession is because I watch people in this business do exactly what I did every single day. I watch them do it. And what I now realize looking back that I want all of you to be able to see and know and understand is that she cheated on me because I didn't make her a priority. I lost custody of my daughter because I didn't make her a priority. It wasn't because it wasn't her fault she cheated on me. It was mine. It wasn't the state's fault that I lost custody of my daughter. It was mine. It wasn't the car business's fault that I lost my daughter. It was mine. And so the lesson that I want you guys to learn from my mistake is, dude, make the ones that you love a priority. We can get so caught up in this business, selling that next car, handling that next appointment, making sure that we're coming in on our days off. We're hanging out with the boys afterwards. We're doing all of the things. We're spending all of our money as fast as we can turn it, as fast as we can make it. We're blinging, we're high-siding, we're riding in the nice cars, we're wearing the nice watches, we're buying the Mont Blancs, we're picking up the suits, we're doing all of these things. And so I'm begging you to just take a look and stop. The auto industry is amazing, man, and it can take you places that no other industry that I know of can take you. It is the only industry where you can walk in with no down payment, as I say it. You don't have to have a nickel to your name. You don't have to have a college degree. You don't have to have any of those things. And the auto industry can take you as far as you want to go, but don't let it cloud the reality of why we're here. We are here on this planet to make a positive impact in other people's lives. The people that love you and that pour into you are far more important than anything that the car business has to offer. Make your family a priority, my friend. Make your finances a priority, my friend, and take this life and make the best of it.
Wow, man, that
hit deep.
Ooh.
Do you guys hear that? I mean, I'm speechless. I'm okay at just leaving it right there.
I love how open your book is.
That was so
Glenn.
real.
Your book is so open, and I love reading from the pages. You definitely have a great story. I think a lot of people, and what I love about it is that a lot of people like to just highlight the good things in life. All the oh, hey, I did this. These are like my achievements and this and that. To dig deep and to talk about mistakes and to really like how deep you went with that. Like you put it on yourself and it's true. I know that anytime that I've had any relationship issues, anytime I've had any type of problems, it was all stemmed from my mentality, from where I was going, the toxic stuff that I was doing. Once I changed that and I completely made that thing, like as Lou talked about, I let it die, with like the seed before it started to grow. I let it die so it could grow. That's what happened. And man, Glenn, that story, that story took me on a roller coaster. Yeah, you talked about catching it. And I felt that emotion, and I felt the emotion of like losing my child, and I felt the emotion of like the realization of it was my fault. I felt that too, man. And it's a beautiful thing how far you've come. It's a beautiful thing because everybody can see that, and that's what's so neat about who you are, Glenn. You are able to show people, hey, I'm not just good all the time. Because it's very easy. You come off. When people just see you on the outside, they can say, hey, rise and grind. He's a God man, and he does all this amazing stuff, and he's always sharing. He's trying to help, but they don't realize sometimes you have to hear those stories to know that you had some darkness in your life at one point, and you had to learn from that. But we all need to go through things like that. We all need to go through our failures so we can keep growing.
Many of you have heard before to take your mess and make it your message.
That's right.
And making sure to not be. Who was it that was on your show the other day? He's talking about victimese, right?
Yeah,
victimese. You can't be speaking that type of language. Right. Okay, yes, you can't do that. But constantly speaking about, oh, woe is me, you're never going to rise to the level that you're designed to rise to if you constantly stay low blaming everybody else. Remember, the answer is inside of you. If you didn't get the chance to listen to the Jump Box, folks, go back,
listen to
that
it,
and understand the
check
answer
out his
is
5-liner.
inside of you. And sometimes what's falling apart is because of what's inside of you and what needs to have an adjustment. So we are so honored to have Glenn here to give you this car guy confession session.
Thank you so much for the honor.
So much,
I know Glenn has to get out of here, guys. We do too. I know Glenn has a bunch of other stuff. I love that he has a lot of stuff on his plate because that's what makes him keep growing. And I love what he's doing out there. He's helping so many different people in so many different ways, from dealers to individuals to people outside the business. Glenn Lundy is a solutionary, no doubt about it. We are honored to not only have you on the podcast, but to be part of your group. We're looking forward to talking to you some more. We're going to have to come out to Lexington and hang out with you here soon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. No doubt about it.
Car guys and car gals, this is Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
This is Fred Lenartz, the subprime hero.
And we have been having fun brewing solutions with the Glenn Lundy.
Bling, bling.
Folks, you can get information by just searching out any one of the names out here. Car Guy Coffee Podcast, Mr. Bling himself. Ka-chow, ka-chow. Okay. Car guys, car gals, we appreciate you all. Let's brew. Have an incredible day, everybody. We're out.
Peace.
See you guys.
All right, Glenn. Thank you.